Hey again, everybody. I'm finally bringing you this much belated toy review of the Power of the Prime's leader class Optimus Prime toy. So, as per the usual, we'll break it down, look at it in each mode, include the box this time, and, then give my thoughts on it. Let's get started. All right, we have the box here. Standard Generations fare. Here's the nice big picture of Optimus Prime himself. Looking very powerful, very cool. Switch to this side, we get the cutaway image of Orion Pax. I wish I could get a full image of him. It'd be really nice. Usual, show off the different modes, some cross cells here. On the side there we have the, 12 different Prime symbols. Nothing special. Got the cool little wheel in there that has the Prime symbols along with two little extras that are so far unidentified. Alright, starting our look at Optimus himself. We have his vehicle mode, his classic semi-truck form. It's a very loose interpretation of his classic vehicle mode. Gets a lot of the main details, but certain things about it just look a little off. Specifically, the back of his cab just looks like a jumbled mess of robot parts sticking out, because it is. The trailer's got a lot of red on it due to the way this thing transforms, so that may look a little strange. It's got some foil stickers along the sides, which are just, a staple of leader class toys now. My stickers came out pretty well, except for this wrinkle right here. Bit of an eyesore, but, I'll get over it. Got some foil there. These attach, by the way. This little socket in the back of Orion's head actually forms the hitch for the trailer there. He's got his typical weapons stored on top of the trailer there. You can remove this if you don't like the way it looks, but you do actually have to partially transform the trailer to get this out because it's held tight between these two red pieces here. Pointed out how goofy looking the cab is. Really not a fan of the way this thing turned out. It just looks off in so many ways. The proportions are weird. All this extra kibble in the back looks dumb. I think these are supposed to pass for the smokestacks, but they're red, so they just don't really even stand out. This bit right here has been the biggest complaint for pretty much everybody that's gotten a look at this toy or held it in hand. You can see the matrix in there, by the way. And it's not an unwarranted criticism. I mean, this does not look good. Doesn't look like a real truck. This cab mode was definitely sacrificed in order to incorporate the whole evolution gimmick. And I get that. In fact, in my Optimus Prime review, I did mention how that gimmick is going to have some, wins and losses in its execution. And this is the toy I was pretty much thinking of when I said that. This is the one where you really lost out. But that's the most negative thing I'll have to say about this figure, so it all gets better from here. So I'm going to go ahead, transform this cab into Orion Pax, and we'll move on. Alright, this is Pax's robot mode. I'm a pretty big fan of this mode. I like the way it looks. It's very dynamic looking. It's a bit bigger than your average deluxe, which you'll see here in a second. He is based on the 80s cartoon depiction of Orion Pax, like pretty faithfully so, which is something that a lot of fans and collectors have been asking for quite some time. We've had some Orion Paxes over the years, but none of them have really come close to matching that classic look that a lot of people were looking for. So, I really like the way he looks. He's got, full, range of posability. Head's very posable. He's got like bicep swivels, double jointed elbows, ball joints on the shoulders, ball joints in the little hip area there. Simple hinges for the knees. His toes can move a little bit, but mainly meant to just extend all the way. And his little hip skirt thing can actually rotate to accommodate his legs. So it looks really good. You can see he's wielding these two guns here that are made up of the gun that his Optimus form wields. So that's pretty cool. His back, he's a little backpacky. He's got all this going on here that has to attach. He can hold the matrix in this mode, just like his truck mode. It's all hidden back here. And yeah, he's a very, very neat, dynamic looking toy. Like the way you can just pose him and have him look all the part of the heroic underdog. I've brought in the Thrilling 30 Orion packs along with the Evolution 2-pack figure, just to show you, how this guy stacks up against the other ones. As I mentioned a moment ago, he is quite a bit taller than both of these deluxes, and really deluxes in general. The Thrilling 30 packs is intended to be designed based off of the IDW version of Orion, and to that end he is very faithful. The Evolution Orion packs is a callback to the very original figure, which I sadly don't have. It was an eHobby exclusive that was a redeco of the original Generation 1 Cup mold. So this guy's a callback to that, being a redeco of Titan's Return Cup with a slightly modified head that actually looks a little bit like his. So as far as which is the perfect Orion for you, again, it just depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for something akin to his original toy? Are you looking for the IDW character? Or are you looking for the original, Sunbow cartoon version that so many people grew up with and have been waiting to see for a long time? I personally don't have a preference in that regard. I think each one, serves the purpose it was built for. But I will say I find this new Orion to just be the most exciting looking figure out of the bunch. Maybe if this guy was a bit bigger and could at least, see eye to eye with the Cup retool, I'd like him more. Ultimately, I feel that these are three solid figures, but overall, I think I do like this new Orion the most. He just comes off as more striking and impressive to me. And the main attraction we have for this toy is, of course, Optimus Prime himself, which is Orion packs combined with the trailer to form this very large, very impressive looking Optimus Prime. This toy is getting a lot of praise from me. I think it just hits all the notes of what you look for with an impressive Optimus Prime figure. He's a bit on the large side considering he's a leader class figure, so if you're somebody who's, really concerned about how he'll scale with your other, generations or classics figures, that might be a bit of an issue for you. But judging the figure just on its own merits, it's really nice looking. It is very posable. It has all the bits that you would expect from a leader class. He's got his classic gun. He's very detailed. He's got, fair amount of paint where it's needed to achieve that look. He does have an unfortunate bit of Orion legs hanging off his back, which kind of messes up his silhouette, if you're expecting this guy to look like the one from your childhood. One thing a lot of people have pointed out and complained about is he has gray fists. Now, I'm not completely bothered by this because I don't expect this toy to be the, end-all, be-all G1 Optimus. That's what we have a masterpiece for. But I do understand kind of how they feel about it. It is weird that they decided to make them gray. I imagine it has something to do with how the mold for the toy was constructed, but it's something that could have been fixed with, splash of paint if Hasbro was feeling generous. But for me, it's definitely not a deal breaker. All right, we're going to get a look at Optimus's matrix. His chest panels here do open up, as one would expect from this toy. Kind of have to wriggle them out a little bit. Yeah, they fight it. They fight it. They don't like to come out. There we go. Unlike most Optimuses, you have an extra set of doors you need to go through to get to the matrix. And there it is. It's the same shape as all the other leader class matrices, or matrices. It has the unique distinction of being done up in the classic Matrix colors, which is always nice. To be pulled out here. I'll set him aside. You can get a good look at it here. It does look very nice. The whole crystal effect from the clear blue plastic is a good touch. My copy does have an unfortunate little splash of orange paint there. May get froggy and try to remove that carefully later. But yeah, it's shaped just like a, Prime Master Enigma of Combination. Doesn't do anything special, just a solid block. But it is cool to have, the classic Matrix in hand if you don't have another figure that has this already. One small issue I've had with my toy is actually getting the Matrix to go into his chest. There's zero clearance. I mean, it is an extremely tight fit, and I kind of have to force it in there. Which worries me because, this bottom bit right here is painted, and it really seems to have to scrape against the bottom of this little chest cavity here to work. So, for me, it's a pretty delicate process getting it in there. I'm going to attempt it for everyone's entertainment right now. You can see me struggle with my toy. Yep. See, piece of cake. Pfft, that was easy. One quick thing worth pointing out, because of his leg backpack thing and the relatively loose hinges that his little ankles sit on, this guy's pretty back heavy. So I've had quite a few instances of him just falling backwards out of nowhere while he was just sitting on, this table or another surface. So something to be aware of if you want to avoid him falling over, potentially knocking over other things. Make sure you pose him in a way to where he's not leaning back at all. I would recommend pointing his toes a little outward from each other just to lessen the likelihood of him falling straight back. It does increase the resistance to doing so a little bit. So, something to look out for. I've busted out my MP10 to address the fact that a lot of people compare this new leader class to the MP10 mold. And I can definitely see why. And it really kind of speaks to just the quality of, his Super Robot Mode's execution. They do definitely evoke the same feel of, a big, well-built, posable Optimus Prime. But if you really do look at the two side by side, they're actually very different toys. Down from, the specific, shades of color used, the actual proportions of the robots themselves. The leader class is actually a bit stockier looking. He doesn't quite have the long stretched out look that the MP10 has. Obviously there are some, kind of extra parts on the leader class that make them different. Panels folded up on the arms and legs, which are necessary for the transformation. The whole leg backpack thing I mentioned. But I kind of, throw those out just because I get that they're necessary for this to work. The only other big thing that I noticed is that where MP10 and by extension Optimus's classic depiction that, he uses for most things, has the smokestacks on the outer edge of his shoulders, whereas this toy actually relocates them back to the backside. It's a minor thing, but something that stood out to me as being a noticeable difference between the two. Here's Optimus's character card. It's got his really nice art from the front of the box there. My particular copy has the Liege Maximo symbol. Then on the back we see, Optimus Liege Maximo outwits enemies with prescient strategic vision. It's a good word there. It's going to have a lot of kids looking things up in a dictionary. It's a fun team up though, huh? Optimus and Liege Maximo. Who'd have thunk it? So that's the gist of the new leader class Optimus Prime. I've pretty much already laid out all my thoughts on the figure during each of the segments for each of his modes there. But just, to kind of summarize it, I really like this toy. I love his full size robot mode. I love the smaller Orion Pax mode. I think they both look great. I do think the vehicle mode looks like just hot garbage. It looks awful. I'm not going to lie. I can't be charitable with that one. It looks really bad. But if I have to choose between a Transformer sacrificing its vehicle for the robot mode or vice versa, for me, the robot mode wins out every time. Because that's what I and most people are going to display these characters in most of the time. However, I do understand there are some people that are probably more vehicle enthusiasts than I am, especially when it comes to like the car transformers, maybe jet transformers. They want to have something that they can display in that vehicle mode to make it look really cool. And, in their case, they just might find that to be a deal breaker because it doesn't look good. Nobody's going to be displaying this toy in his truck mode. So dislike of the vehicle mode aside, again, I'm very fond of this toy. I'm really glad I got it. I'm sorry it took me so long to actually get a review out of this guy. Life gets in the way of fun, right? But he does have me excited for, future leader class figures in the Power of the Primes line. We have the ones that we know are coming up next, the Rodimus Unicronus, Optimus Primal, which I'm stoked for, by the way. Beyond that, we don't know what's coming, but, if we can see this same level of detail, same level of love given to those toys as they have for what we've been shown so far, I think it's very promising looking. Titan's Return was a strong line for leader class toys. I mean, we got a 6-shot, an Overlord. We did get a Power Master Optimus in that line, but I'm honestly not crazy about that version. The Jinrai / Magnus Prime version is way better. But this just shows that, they really are putting a lot of effort into these larger scale figures. They're still using the stickers, which I hate. I wish they'd stop. I get what they're going for with the retro look, but at the very least, if Hasbro wants to use stickers for these, at least have them come on a sticker sheet. Let the customer put them on, so that way I have control over, how perfectly they're applied or not. That way if there's a big wrinkle on the side of my trailer, it's my fault and not just something that, oh, it came that way, deal with it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and, cut this review off here. This may be the last review I do for a little bit, mainly because I'm waiting for new things to come out, but also, I'm going to put a little more time focusing on like discussion videos because I did really enjoy that last one I made. I hope you all enjoy that too. But let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you think of the Optimus Prime toy, if you plan on getting it, if you have it already, how are you enjoying it? And with all that said, I will see you next time.